Since the previous report we made in the morning, we had a very complex situation, quite difficult. And well, fortunately, the resources have worked very well, exceptionally well, both the aerial resources and the ground resources, and we have established some perimeter lines of the fire boundaries that were even much closer to the flame front than we initially thought. We were going to go much further back, and yet we have been able to reduce that perimeter. We are now working on stabilizing that perimeter, which consists of paths, forest tracks, some paved roads to try to stabilize the fire at those limits. The fire is not stabilized yet, but we have a few active flame front areas, although there are still quite a few, but with a lower potential danger than we had estimated this morning regarding what could happen. That is in terms of the evolution of the extinction. In terms of the forecast of what could happen tonight, we are now experiencing a change in wind. It is turning from the north, although it is now quite calm. We have a good chance of working to try to anchor these perimeters. The wind is changing, it's going to blow from the north, so we're going to have difficulties on what used to be the left flank, the southern part of the fire. We're moving there. There are 2 bulldozers working and quite a few ground personnel doing anchoring work in the areas where there may be the most difficulties. I hope to arrive in time before the wind can push the flames out of that perimeter. In fact, we've already closed off quite a significant part of it. As for the rest of the flanks, the head is active, but it's reaching areas where I think we're going to be able to control it. The right flank is, right now, where there may be the most problems, but, well, we also have quite a few people there and, with the usual scares of, well, a major flare and such, I think that, well, we're optimistic, relatively optimistic, within what one can be in a circumstance like this. Well, the most complicated thing is the combination of factors that make a fire difficult: topography, fuel, and wind. When these 3 factors align, the difficulty is extreme. When there is only one factor working in each of the areas, we are able to anticipate and try to control the perimeter. Now, in none of the areas of the perimeter do we have these 3 factors aligned, so we have a good chance of working. Something similar happens towards the night. So, our intention is to leave the fire within a perimeter that we can control to work throughout the night on tasks of, well, securing that perimeter. Until morning, let the air resources arrive, and with the air resources and the ground resources that we are going to have tomorrow, we are going to continue with a very complete operation, to try to stabilize the flames. If we change now at night, we will relieve practically all the personnel and the fire engines and convoys that have come from other provinces. Logically, the air resources are being withdrawn, but we are now going to prepare the relief to assign people where there is the greatest risk, to try to let the people who are staying rest. Quite a few people are going to stay here to sleep so that they can return to work first thing tomorrow, and the air resources are going to start working with the AS. In other words, we are going to start having air support first thing in the morning.
This morning.
Well, we haven't had time to do perimeter calculations. We have a perimeter on which we are going to work, but we haven't looked at how much surface area it is to give a very approximate figure. As I was telling you this morning, if this morning there were 500, now perhaps there could be 600, but it is, well, a completely risky figure of reality. I may be 100 more or less than that order of magnitude. Let's leave it at that. Sorry, the level of severity remains the same. And Angel, to clarify then, the fire cannot be considered under control or perimetered. We don't even consider it stabilized. We still have a lot of work to do. There's a long flame front. There are many areas with a lot of fuel that are practically inaccessible to the media. It is a very dirty perimeter, very dirty in the sense that it is full of a lot of brush, very high, with rocks with very steep slopes, and night personnel run a great risk working in those areas. So, we are going to do it calmly, slowly. We are going to try to avoid accidents, and we are going to gradually anchor the perimeter with the maximum guarantee. And for the residents of the towns of Malventran and El Arenal, is there any kind of danger? I think they can rest easy for now. You never know how the fires will evolve. Unfortunately, we never know what might happen, but in the current situation I think we can speak of a certain calm. I don't think it is necessary to confine anyone again, but we are going to wait from government delegations because social media has asked people from the delegation not to participate in that. I don't know what appeal they are making on their part. Well, the InfoCal is very clear about the resources that can participate in extinguishing the fire. Here are the resources of the official extinguishing operation, and we cannot count on volunteers to extinguish it. It is a rule that is written and must be followed. Volunteer personnel can perform many other very useful tasks in a fire, but they should not come to the fire, to the front of the flame to extinguish it because it is a very great risk for them and for the rest of the operation.
Acercarme yo. Hey. Adrián aquí. Vale.
We've been working on the left flank, the lower part. We've been doing a direct contained attack and then our teammates came behind us finishing off with hand tools. Well, the work has been hard because the weather wasn't good, the wind was constantly changing, the topography is bad and the slope was quite ugly. The part where we've been working now, where I just got back from, is pretty good. The teammates who have been relieving us are refreshing it and a bulldozer is working from head to tail. Tomorrow, if there's no change of plans, at 8 in the morning, we'll fly out with the helicopter and return to the fire. The crew is fine. They've worked hard, but now they'll rest and tomorrow they'll be ready to go back again.
¿Sabes de Guardia Civil conmigo lo que necesito? Vale, perfecto. Ay, perdona. Nada. Alojamiento, todo cubierto, todo... Sí.
He visto aquí esto en alto y lo tenemos ahí ya. Y igual se ve.